Welcome, friends. So, welcome to Yoga for Runners today. Although it's not limited to runners, let's not be silly. It is targeted for the problem areas for runners, like your hips, like your knees, um, in tight spots, calves and ankles and feet. So, everyone will benefit from this. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start in Vajrasana. We're going to start sitting on your heels with your toes untucked. Hands are going to go on your thighs. We're going to take a couple of breaths here just to find a little bit of stillness before we start to move, to check in with our bodies and to kind of, get acquainted, see what's happening right now. It's very important that we really tune in and listen before we ask and demand of our bodies to perform. Let's give it a little attention with some warmth, a little nurturing attention, okay? So feel into what's happening. Feel into any kind of tension anywhere. So oftentimes we hold tension in our neck and our shoulders, so maybe we drop that down a bit. Maybe we draw our shoulder blades in towards each other, so we have this open heart, making room for the breath. And then when you do that, notice that your tailbone starts to kind of reach back. So maybe gently guide it between the heels. Notice if you feel any sensation in your feet and your ankles. If there's any tightness around your knees. Now, if this position is uncomfortable for you, we could have sat on some blocks. We could sit on some blocks. So put blocks between the feet, and that would make it a little more easeful. While we're here, we're going to feel into the sit bones, feel into the tops of the feet, the shins, the knees. We're going to settle into our breath, feel the in and the out breath, the expansion and the contraction as you breathe in. Feel that expansion as you breathe out, feel that contraction. We're just going to take a couple more mindful breaths here before we start to move. So keeping those points of alignment, shoulders down and together, tailbone drawing between the heels, spine nice and long. Filling as much as you can with your next breath in, expanding, and then exhaling nice and slow from your navel all the way to your clavicle. Coming to a normal pattern of breath. Notice if it's any different. Bring your chin to your chest, bring your hands behind you. Start to open your eyes, lean back a bit, see if you can lift your knees off the mat. Let's start working the feet, the foundation of everything. Okay, working the ankles, stretching those ankles. If this is too much, lifting the knees, don't lift the knees. Maybe just being here is enough. And if you can't bring your hands to the mat, bring the mat to you. Put your hands on some blocks, some books, something. Pause the video and get your props. Okay, a couple more breaths. And then release the knees to the mat. You're going to curl the toes under. I'm going to just go sideways so you can see. And then sit on your heels. A little bit of discomfort here. Again, we're working the arches of the feet. A lot of times, arches are really important in our running and our walking, right? So we either have flat or high arches. And this helps either. The stretching of the fascia on the bottoms of our feet is really important. And our toes, also our toes. Think about those toes. So many of us have stiff toes. Makes it really hard to balance and to walk efficiently with stiff toes. It's just things we don't really think about, right? We're going to take a couple more breaths. Big inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to release. I'm going to do this again. We're going to lean back and lift the knees. Hold. Maybe they're just barely lifting off the mat. It's okay. Try to get the tops of the ankles, tops of the feet through the ankles. Maybe you don't need to lift those knees. Maybe this is enough of a stretch for the ankles. And then one more time, let's curl the toes under and have a seat on the heels. Breathe through the discomfort. Breathe through the discomfort. As long as we're not entering into pain territory, discomfort is something we can tolerate. That's where the magic tends to happen, in that zone outside of our comfort zone. And then we release. Okay. So we're going to stretch our calf out a little bit, or just massage the calf by taking your ankle. So let's take our right ankle, put it right at the crease of our knee, and then just kind of sit back into it. Sit back into that, and you'll feel like your ankle bone, you walk your hands back a little bit, your ankle bone pressing into your calf, and that's a little bit of a fascia release for you. And just work it. Get into a position where you can really dig in. And then move it down your calf a little bit more and sit on that. Sit on the ankle, and then kind of maybe wiggle side to side. Just feel into that release. It should feel really good, actually. Keep working your way down, and then work your way back up. Okay, so tight calves, another issue runners have, so you want to loosen those up as much as you can. Exhaling, moving that ankle all the way up, back up. And then once you sit on it, a little rocking, go side to side. And then we're going to switch sides. So you'll take the left, put it in the hip crease, and have a seat and rock it side to side. Get into the area that you need most. You kind of have to wiggle around a little bit to get there. Yeah, work your way down all the way. Get to that Achilles tendon, all the way towards your ankle, and then you'll work your way right back up. Oh. Okay, when you had enough of that, you're going to find tabletop. And you're going to extend your right leg back, press into the ball of the foot, and then reach your heel for the mat. So really press into the hands and push yourself back so that the heel reaches as close to the mat as it can. We're going to inhale, you're going to take it up and over towards the left. Same thing is going to happen. Root the ball of the foot down and press the heel down. Now we're going to get into that right hip a bit by bringing your left shoulder towards your left hip. Making a nice C-spine. So you're reaching your heel for the mat, and you're reaching your shoulder, and your hips are reaching for each other. One more breath. We're going to inhale, we're going to float that leg up, bend the knee, and start to make some circles with that hip. So try not to lean into the left hip too much. Use your core to support you here. Make a few circles one direction, and then a few circles the other direction. Big circles. Keep breathing. And then pause with your right leg or right knee right in line with your hip. Hold it there. As you exhale, bring that right knee towards your right shoulder. Hold it, and then try to place that right foot next to your hand. You might have to lift the right hand up a little bit. So right foot next to the hand, and then jimmy that left leg back and bring the hips forward. So really important to do a nice hip, to stretch the front of your hips, your hip flexors. Those get really tight as you run, along with your hamstrings, right? So we're going to let the hips drop, and you're going to make sure that the right knee is in line with the right ankle. We're going to breathe here for a couple breaths. Hold that. Feel into that nice hip flexor stretch. You might want to go even deeper and come onto your elbows, but just make sure that that right knee doesn't open all the way up. Keep the right knee lined up with your hips. Maybe draw the right knee close to your right shoulder. So we're working that inner thigh. You want to make sure those inner thighs work. Another breath, and then as you inhale, bring your hands to the mat. Let's slowly work the right leg straight. So I'm going to take that right foot, bring it in a little bit so that my hands can frame it. And I'm going to walk my hands forward, chin to the chest, and now we're working the hamstring in the back of the right leg. And we're gonna breathe here. Now, if you need the blocks, grab the blocks to frame the foot. You could always bring the floor up to you. Now, the more we move and the more we run without stretching, the tighter our muscles become. So if you're a runner that doesn't stretch, you might be feeling a lot of discomfort here. So just like I said in the beginning of the class, when you feel that discomfort, sit with it, breathe, and try to let your exhale ease you a bit. Remind your body that you're okay. There is no danger. So the mind kind of creates this seizing of the muscles when it feels threatened. So you have to do a lot of internal talking when you're stretching to just relax the body. And now we're going to inhale and take it forward again. So we're going to tick-tock like that a couple times now, okay? So you're going to reach the hips back, straighten the leg, and then inhale, bring the hips forward. Exhale, shift it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, shift it back. Inhale, bring it forward. One more time. Exhale, shift it back. Inhale, bring it forward. Let's take our right arm up and reach around for the foot. If we can't grab the foot, grab a strap, a bathrobe, a belt, something, and you just hook your foot with that strap and you pull it in. Now we got that front, the quad, and we stretch that. And we breathe for 10, for 9, 8, 7, 6. Again, make sure that knee doesn't open up to the side. And if you want to go deeper, you can come onto that elbow. 3 and 2 and 1. Release that. Both hands on the mat. Step the right knee back. Walk the hands past the shoulders. Bring the hips down. Bend the elbows. Come to a cobra by hugging the elbows into the side body, throwing the head up, tucking the tail a bit, and breathing here for a good 5 breaths. Breathe here into the sensations, into the feelings, into your body. And then as you exhale, let's push it back to our child's pose. Couple breaths before we do the other side. Before we do the other side, let's go into a down dog. Curl the toes under, lift your hips up to the sky. Such a great posture for opening up the whole back side of the body and the chest. So, and shoulders and everything, really. Bring the heels towards the mat. Bend your knees a little bit. Bring your chest towards the thighs. Now, you want to think of your head as an anchor here. So your neck is not working at all. There's no tension in the neck. Just let the head hang. You're an upside down, and you're just going to enjoy that upside down. Hips are up to the sky, right? And you can take the inner elbows and just kind of draw them in towards each other. Take 2 more breaths here. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. Eventually, you're going to try to work those knees straighter and straighter. Your next inhale is going to take you to tabletop again. So make sure everything lines up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's extend the left leg straight back behind you and press the heel for the mat. Press that heel down. Press into the mat with your hands and push back a little so you go even deeper. Your next breath in, you're going to float the leg up and over. And we're going to reach the heel for the mat towards the right. And your right shoulder is going to go towards your hips. Your hips are going to go towards your right shoulder. And you're going to get into that left hip a little bit. Nice. Coming back through center. Let's bend that knee and then bring it out to the side. A few circles in one direction. And then we'll change the direction and go the other way. But make sure we don't sit into our right hip again. Using that core, keeping the knee right under the right hip. Pause here. Now let's bring the left knee towards the left elbow. Hold, and then bring it right next to your hands. I'm gonna walk my hands forward a little bit, make sure that my ankle, my knee line up nicely. Excuse me, and then I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna hold and breathe. Really getting deeply into that hip flexor. If I feel like I wanna go a little bit deeper, come onto my elbows and try to get that left knee close to my left elbow. And I breathe here. Again, feeling into the discomfort and trying to find some ease there. 2 more breaths. Come up onto my hands. I'm going to start to straighten my left leg and frame it. Toes are going up towards the sky. I'm walking my fingertips forward and my hips back. I'm going to breathe here for a couple of breaths. Chin towards my chest, forehead towards my knees. And so you're going to find your sweet spot where you're not sitting too far back in your hips and you're not moving too far forward, right? So that you're not really sitting in your, or putting your weight into your hips. You want to feel an equal distribution. One more breath. And then we're going to take an inhale and bend. Look up. Exhale and straighten. Inhale and bend. Exhale and straighten. Good. 3 more times. In and out. 2 more. In and out. Last one. Beautiful. So we're gonna stick it here, take the left arm up, reach around, grab a hold of your foot. This is where we kind of feel like screaming a little bit, right? No, not so very comfortable. I know, but we could breathe through it. Thankfully, we have our breath. We could breathe through it. We could tell ourselves we can, and we can recognize how important it is. Remind ourselves this is worth it. This is worth it. This is doing so many fabulous things. Opening up tight areas, releasing so much stress, releasing so much tension. It's like we're gonna be even taller when we let go, and we let go. Very good. Place that left hand on the mat, right hand on the mat, and step the left leg back. All right, we're gonna shift the hips back for a second, reach the arms forward past our shoulders, and let the hips drop, and here we are in our cobra. Looks like rain is coming over here. So we are going to make or hope that the rain is gonna hold out until we are done with our class. So here's our cobra. Press into the hands. Tailbone down, squeeze the glutes, lift out of it. Big breath in. As we exhale, we're going to curl our toes under and we're going to push our way back into a down dog. All right. Few breaths here, inhale and exhale. Recalibrate, let your head go, just really breathe into all parts of you. Feel the pressure of your hands and the balls of the feet. Maybe grip through the paddings of your fingers. One more big breath. We're going to get into the hip a little bit here by taking our right knee. A little bit more funky moves here. My right knee is going to my left elbow, and then I'm going to extend it out. Right out to the side. So getting that IT band that's really hard to target. Not many moves really can get it, and that's can be so tight in runners. We're gonna drop the hip close to the mat, and then on our inhale, we're gonna lift. So exhale, we're gonna drop. Yes, and then inhale, lift. Good. Just a few more times. Take it and lift. Down. And lift. Last one, down and lift. Now let's take that right knee towards our right wrist. Right foot towards our left wrist. We're gonna come into a pigeon pose. Uh-oh, hearing some thunder. And we're gonna extend that back leg straight behind us. Now, if you're feeling like you're falling into that right hip, you might wanna get something to prop your hip up, prop that glute up, because you don't wanna sit on that right butt cheek. You wanna keep it in line with the left, okay? So we're gonna breathe here and open up that hip, that piriformis. So you could stack your forearms, bring your forehead on the forearms, and just breathe here for a sleeping pigeon. I'm going to take a few solid, long breaths, feeling all the sensations happening, really tuning in. Whenever you feel yourself, whenever we get still, it's very easy. Our body stills, but our mind starts to get very active when the body stills. So one way we can practice stilling the mind is by bringing it to the body, bringing it right where the body is. So when the body gets still and you are in a posture of openness, just drop into all the sensations happening. Keep that mind and that chatter quiet. Instead, get to know the body a little better and what's happening. We're going to take 2 more breaths. Going to come back onto our elbows. We're going to take a screaming pigeon, which is not comfortable. It's not, I'm warning you, it's not a comfortable place to be. But we're okay with that. We're okay with that. As long as we're not in some pain, right? Discomfort is okay. I'm going to bend that back knee. I'm going to reach around and grab it with my right hand. And I'm going to pull that heel towards my glutes. There's so many ways we can go into this. Come onto my hands, bring that foot into the hook of my elbow. Get nice and long. Then I could maybe find the clasp of my hands. If you really want to get deeper, if you really want to feel it, or you just hold and breathe. 2 more breaths. We're almost there. We can do it. And then we are going to release that. Oh my goodness, yes. And then we're going to bring that left knee right next to our right foot. So it's like a double pigeon here. So my right shin should be parallel to the top of the mat, and my left shin should be parallel to the side of the mat. I'm going to reach my arms out and I'm going to kind of dive forward. Like airplane arms diving forward over that leg. And then inhale, take it up, bring both knees up so you're facing center, and then go the other way. Big inhale, and then exhale, bring the arms out to the side and dive forward. Inhale, take it back to center, and let's go back to the top of the mat. Exhale, dive it forward. Again, in, center, back, and dive it forward. Oh my goodness, really opening up those hips. We're coming back to the top of the mat. You're gonna take the left foot now. We're gonna grab a hold of it. We're gonna cradle the baby, pull it in. So foot is going in the crook of one elbow and knees going into the other. I'm gonna grab my hands, I'm lifting as tall as I can. Big breath in. And then as I exhale, I'm gonna take that left knee on top of the right knee. I'm gonna face you. I'm gonna take a big inhale here. Palms are gonna touch the sole of my feet. Feet are gonna come out to the side. And then as I exhale, I fold right over. Chin to chest, forehead maybe touches my knee, and I'm gonna breathe. Again, settle in and feel into the sensations. Give the body attention and let it know that you are with it, here with it. Not somewhere else, but meeting it. We're gonna roll it up, and we're gonna take a twist to the left, which is and we come back through center. Okay, so I'm coming back to where I was. I'm gonna come onto my hands and knees, unwind those legs, come back to the other side. So we're gonna go into down dog again. And we're gonna take a few breaths in our down dog. Oh, bending the knees, dropping the chest towards the thighs, letting the neck go. Maybe shake it yes, maybe shake it no, just to make sure the neck isn't working. Take a big breath in. We're gonna come into our funky move where we come to center, kind of in a, we are gonna be in a plank pose. And then we take the left knee towards the right elbow. Extend that left leg straight out, so thread it through. And then we're gonna drop the hip. You'll notice maybe one side's gonna be harder than the other or tighter than the other. Drop it, maybe you tap it, maybe you don't, and then back up. 3 more times, it's a tap, back up, 2 more times, tap, and up. Last one. We're going to slide that knee towards the wrist, ankle towards the right wrist, straighten that right leg. Make sure that that hip is not touching down. Keep it in line. The hips should be lined up, one right next to the other. Find your pigeon, your sleeping pigeon, stack the forearms and breathe here. Again, we're steadying the breath out. We're finding our rhythm. We're releasing any tight clenching that doesn't need to be clenched. Right now, there's no clenching that needs to happen. So habitual, our body just seizes and we don't notice it because we're not paying attention to it. But the more we practice, the better at it we'll become. The better at noticing the clenching. And then we can invite it to release. You can't change things that you don't notice. Couple more breaths, and yes, we're gonna head our way to Screaming Pigeon. I'm so sorry. But remember the benefits here. We're gonna bend that back knee. We're gonna reach around, we're gonna grab it. And we're gonna pull it in. If you wanna make your way up onto your hand, that's fabulous. If you wanna try to get it into the crook of that elbow, go for it. If you want to try to balance that arm up, breathe, breathe. Breathe into that discomfort and try to find the ease in it. Left shoulder is trying to make its way forward as you pull that heel in a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, we are almost there. 1, oh, so good. That release is almost worth it. And then we're gonna bend the right knee towards that left foot and try to fix my mat here. Okay, so left shin is parallel to the top of the mat, right shin is parallel to the side of the mat. We're gonna bring our arms out to the side. We're gonna take a big inhale, a little bit of a back bend here, and then we're gonna dive forward, almost touching the shin. Maybe you will touch the shin. And then you take your arms up, knees up, and we go the other side, arms out to your airplane, and you dive, get that shin. Inhale, take it up, and exhale, take it over. Inhale, take it up, and exhale, take it over. And last time, inhale, up, exhale, down. Inhale, let's take the right leg. Let's grab a hold of it. Let's cradle the baby. Pull it in as you get your spine nice and long. Now I'm going to take that right knee and I'm going to place it on top of the left knee. And we go palms to soles and we fold. So try to get knee over knee. And we breathe. Relax the shoulders towards the ears. Relax the upper body. Try to let it be heavy, like a waterfall over those legs. Breathe into this. Just 2 more breaths. And you'll roll yourself up. Nice tall spine. Take the left hand on your right thigh, right hand behind you, and take a twist. Very good. Inhale, come to center. Now let's bring the hands or the feet together. Let's take a big breath in. Hands on the knees, roll it back. And then inhale back to center. Let's work those inner thighs a bit. So next time we take a breath in, let's bring the knees together and kind of lean back. And then exhale, bring them down. Inhale, we're gonna bring them up. And exhale, we're gonna bring them down. Good job. Here we go for 4. For 3. For 2. For 1. Hold it here. Hold and open and close. Lift the feet and just open and close those knees. Open and close, open and close. Nice. Bring the arms out to the side and go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Slowly we're gonna roll. Feet to the mat. Slowly roll back. All the way onto our backs. Grab onto your knees. Release the left foot to the mat and cradle the right foot in. Again, another easy pigeon. And while we're at the end of practice, the rain gets to wash over me. And I'm allowing it to happen because it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to take that knee, I'm going to cross it over. Big inhale, big exhale. And we take it back to center and we swap it out. Left leg in, cradle the baby. Rock it side to side. Let's take it with the right hand, cross it over. And you're ready for your Shavasana. Palms up, pinky toes heavy towards the mat. And as I breathe here and the raindrops fall on my body, I am reminded of the wonders of the world, of the wonders of our body, of what we're capable of. And allowing it to wash it all away. All things that don't serve me can be washed away, this practice, and we welcome the things that do. So let's tap in one more time before we close. Feel into what we're feeling. Feel into the sensations of our body. Find a space for gratitude and appreciation for everything we just did. Take a big inhale, point our toes, reach the arms out back behind us. Exhale, knees to the chest, make it over to one side. As we reach our arms all the way up and out together to heart center. Exhaling to our namaste. Thank you everyone for showing up today. Happy running, happy yogaing, and enjoy the rain. Namaste.